The signs can be more can help. Signs may be helping you more than you realize. And that's spelled wrong. This one is a sign that says don't look down. That's and that's something you think about like previous too, right? You've seen arrows help you go to the right direction. You've seen signs that says or instructions on the walls that tell you to do certain things. Some hurdles are too high to jump over. Okay. So you see this wall here, I can't go through it. But what you can do is you go through your step process again, right? You know you can take cubes, right? If you try to take multiple ones, you realize you can store multiple ones in your gun. And there is a max limit to how many cubes you can store in your gun. And then you just place one, as you've done before, right? To use it as a step to jump over, you can just take it, right? And then run through it. Now you notice here, you end up being back. You end up being back at the same place before, right? But now you have something different, right? You have cubes. You try to see, let's see if I can get through this by using cubes. You notice if you try to push a cube through, ends up dying, right? For this red one, at least, right? You can't take this cube. I'm trying to see if those are cubes, which they are, and try to take them. You can't take them. Oh, this one. Right, this is yellow, it's a different color. Right. Try putting cubes here. End up noticing you can actually take cubes there, right? You can take these cubes as well. Right, and you see they're regenerating right now. So you can take these cubes, right? Now let's see if I can walk through it, right? With these cubes still, right? You try to make a path for yourself, right? And say, let's see if I can get through this. And you notice, if you think about it, if there are rooms that seem impossible, then it's most likely impossible, because you just don't have the right tools yet, right? So you try to go through everything that you think you possibly can. If you can't do it, then you just retrace your steps, or you just go through a different room, right? And then when you're presented with a new idea or a new tool, then you go back to previous rooms and try to see if you can do it with the different tool that you're presented, right? It's real. Once you realize that, this game is 10 times easier, because I ended up trying to do some rooms and I had the wrong tools, but I ended up trying to do some rooms that were impossible to do just because I didn't have the right tools. And I spent hours just being frustrated over it. But yeah, if something seems impossible, it's most likely impossible, so you have the right tool. So I end up trying to make a bridge, right? Oh, and you notice, if I walk through it, my cubes are all gone, right? And I try to take more cubes while I'm inside of this, I'm not getting it, right? And if I try to create a bridge that leads all the way to there, I can't, because these windows are in the way. I can though, however. I never thought about this. I don't think it's likely. Because I can technically build a bridge here. But I think it's not gonna be, I think that this wall right here is gonna be in the way. And there's no way for me to crouch down, right? If you try to crouch down with control, right, or C, you're not gonna crouch down. But yeah, you can try different things, right? I'm trying to go through this. Yeah, you see, but you can see you just can't do it. And if you try to make this lower, right, end up going through the entire thing, you can't jump up to it, right? Because it's too low. And you can't obtain any cubes, right, while you're inside of this. So this just seems impossible right now. Right. So the only thing that you can do is just jump down. You're gonna jump down. You end up noticing when you jump down is this is the same post as before. So if you go through there, that's the same thing as before. And you notice the arrows are different, right? It's telling you to go left now instead of right. So you're gonna look at this. It says what appears impossible may have a simple answer. So we've gone through a lot of things that may look impossible, but with the right tools, they pretty easy. I don't think that's it. So you go left, right? This we've already gone through this, right? The right. We've already gone through this, the front. The only thing we can do is go left. Okay? And even if this arrow's not here, you can go back, right, where this is, and you can look at the title and it says 3 paths in sight, right? And that's a clue, that's a hint in saying I've gone through 2 paths so far, right? There's something to the left. So the only logical thing is to go to the left. See where that takes me. Here comes the same idea as before, right? So if you see here, this is a solution to a problem may just require a little more thorough look at. You see here, if you move around a lot, the bridge starts disappearing, and there's a bunch of red balls everywhere. But if you walk slowly, the birds start to become more inactive, and the bridge stays connected. Right? If you look down, you can. There's a poster there, so you can go down and go through another step. I'll just jump down. It says rushing through a problem won't always give the right result. Right? If you try jumping over, right, you can take cubes all you want. But these are yellow cubes, if you notice that, and you have a blue gun. So this, right now, it just seems impossible. You try to place cubes on here, they're too small, right? And I've gone through hours of trying to figure this out with the blue gun, but you can't. If it seems impossible, don't hurt your head trying to do it, right? But if you notice, there's a room down here before, right? So if you walk down, walk down. You see all these different letters. I don't think they even represent. They're not anything special, right? I tried doing something special with all these. It doesn't happen, right? But if you walk up, right, you end up going back to where you were before. Here, same thing as before. Okay. You go through the stuff again. Right, if you notice, if you're near it, right, it starts blinking and closes its on. And you're back to the same room again, right? Now you have cubes though, but that doesn't really matter. So you're gonna walk through it. You know what you do, what happens when you jump down, so you just walk through it. It says moving through a problem slower may help find a solution. Right, so you went through the problem, shows you a poster telling you about what you just gone through. Right? You go here. Okay. You see there? Here's the yellow gun. Right? For me, I naturally want to go for the yellow gun. I feel like that's an upgrade, right? Just try to get guns. And if you try to take these yellow things away, these cubes, right, ends up keep regenerating itself, right? So you can't really get rid of this, right? Unfortunately, that's just how it is. Right? You try jumping through it, doesn't happen. Right? right? So you can't get this yellow gun. So like, okay, whatever. Right. Don't get frustrated, please. This is why people sometimes I got mad and raged at this game. Please don't do that. Right? This game is much easier than people may think it is at first because you see a lot of rooms and they seem impossible to do, right? And then you think about, oh, I'm just too dumb for this game, but it's not. It's really simple. You gotta think about all the tools that are presented to you so far, and all the possible ways you can do a problem. That's really all, right? And if it seems impossible, then it's most likely impossible. You don't have the right tools. Well, just go through something else, right? You can't do this, right? You can't. It says up, you can look up, right? But you can't go through glass, right? Right. So why would you bother doing it? Right. Here's another one, right? You can try to place. You see these 4 cubes? There's 4. You gotta place 4 cubes in there, but there's a glass in the way, right? Same thing here. Right. You can't go through this door, right? You could place a cube in here, I believe, right? Just gotta, there it is, right? You can place a cube in there. Come on, right? But there's still 2 that you haven't placed yet, so you're only gonna get halfway there. Same thing on the other side, right? So you can't do this. If you can't do this, just move on. Go to something else. It seems possible to do. And this is what I talked about before, remember? With red doors, if you pass through one part, it opens it. If you pass through the second part, it ends up closing it. Right? Same thing goes here. If you pass through it, opens, pass through the second part, and then closes it. What you want to do is you want to place these cubes and block the path of this line. The way you know to do that is it already presented it to you, right? It presented to you that if you put 2 cubes, it was on the midway point, but if you place 2 cubes, right, it ends up blocking the line, right? But only you place this one. So now you don't have to cross the second line, right? Because the cubes are already blocking for you. Now you can walk through this door. I'm gonna take these cubes with me. Here's another. The right answers may also be the obvious, the most obvious. Right, here's another problem, right? Because if you remember, these cubes disappear if you walk through that yellow liquid, whatever. You can try, but you can't really take these cubes with you. You can try your best to, but you can't because these 2 glass in the way. But you notice this game likes to work in colors, right? So if all the in all the blue areas, right, it seems like you can use a blue gun. The yellow areas, right, it seems like you need a yellow gun, stuff like that. And that's how this game likes working. It's like if you see a bunch of blue cubes and you have a blue gun, most likely you need the blue gun to work with those cubes, right? And if you see a green, you most likely need a green gun. If you see yellow, then you most likely need the yellow gun. If you don't make that conclusion, right? If you don't think of that, then that's fine, right? You can just keep going through the steps and end up, and then it just naturally occurs to you later on. Right, so you try taking this cube, you can't take it. Go through it. There it is! The yellow gun. But you can't take it. But you see there's green cubes, right? So it seems like you're gonna need a green gun in order to do this one, right? If you can try placing it, right? What are your tools, right? The tools that you can do right now is you can place cubes and take them. That's all you can do right now. If you try doing it, you end up being short for a cube, right? And you can't take these cubes with you.